In today's tutorial, I will show you step by step how to draft this elegant asymmetric side drapes skirt pattern. We'll start with the basic pencil skirt block, then add the drape extension and pleat details to create this stylish, unique design. Grab your pattern paper and let's get started. Creative Minds, Mary Adedoyin is my name, and I help you give your creativity expressions with our simple, detailed and timely tutorial content. If it's your first time of visiting this channel, click on the subscribe button to subscribe now. Do it now, because on DOSEfashions Academy TV, we drop amazing video tutorial every Saturday, so please do not miss out. So right guys, let's get started. And now we are going to be needing your pattern paper, your paper, pencil, French curve, your tape measure, and then you also need your circumference measurements, which is your waist circumference, your hip circumference, your length. So it is easy to do. So that is like a sketch I have on my paper that I just sketch it out to see how this is going to be looking like. Now this is my paper unfold, and then I'm going to go ahead now to draft my front basic skirt. Okay, so that is what I'm doing here. So it is my waistline. First of all, I'm going to be creating my margin line, which is going to be serving as my waistline. That is just about half an inch away from the edge of your paper. And then I'm going to be putting my hip line. I'm going to be putting my knee line. So like I've always mentioned in all our videos, your hip line to your knee line, for short it is 8 inches, for medium it is 9, then for someone that's very tall you can use 10. So repeat the same thing. Whatever you use there, you also repeat to get from your hip to your knee. From my waist to my knee now, from my waist to my hip now is 9 inches. So I'm repeating the same thing, 9 inches to also get my knee circumference. So right now we go ahead and put all our circumference measurements, which have to be divided by 4. So my waist circumference divide 4, my knee circumference divide 4, my hip circumference divide 4. So I'm going to be putting my measurements there. So in putting my waist circumference, I'll remember to add my darts. So because for this project we are going to be putting darts in this particular on the waistline, and we are going to be using a dart of 1 inch. Okay, so we're going to put the measurement back in our waist. So now let us put our circumference measurement. So for my measurement is after dividing by 4, and then I had my waist. So but before I put my dart, I'm going to be raising my side as well. So for every of your skirts that you are drafting, so that's my measurements I put over there. That is for my circumference measurement. So I input all the circumference measurements there after I might have divided them by 4. So for your knee circumference, how to get your knee circumference? Your knee circumference, it is you remove either 4, 5 or 6 inches from your hip circumference, then you divide by 4 to get your knee circumference. Depend on how tapered you want your skirt to go. I will repeat. You remove 4, 5 or 6 inches from your hip circumference to get your knee circumference, depend on how tapered you want your skirt to be. So right there, I've added all my circumference measurements, including my darts on my waistline. And then I remember to raise my side by 1 inch. Okay, so you always raise your side by 1 inch. So my side I raise by half an inch, not 1 inch, half an inch. Pardon me. So you raise the side by half an inch, and then on the center front you come down by half an inch, just like the same way we've been drafting all our skirts. If you have not seen any of our skirt pattern, check right now. We have the basic skirts, we have every skirt, we have the drape tulip skirts, we have them on the channel where you can see. So I've gonna to also add my seam allowance of 1 inch after inputting all my measurement. That is 1 inch seam allowance I put round. On the side, I repeat, I raised by half an inch. Now on the center front, I'm going down by half an inch as well. So this helps to rightly contour my skirt. You know, the front is not straight, so it should be contoured in. So I raise on the side by, I go up on the side by 1 inch, by half an inch rather, and then on the center, I go by by quarter inch. So I've gone ahead to add my darts. So I did the contour first before adding my darts. So I've gone ahead to add my darts of 1 inch dart intake, which is half an inch on both sides. So right now you're going to be using our tracing wheel to trace this out. So this will also reflect on the other side of the skirt, and then you're going to be marking it out. So after tracing that, then you mark it out. So that is my tracing wheel I'm using to trace it. So then I have it, voila. The tracing wheel help your job to be faster. So I have this, and then I've copied this on the other side of the skirt. So the next thing I want to do now is to now cut it out, to shape this out, because I already have my basic skirt. So if for your back, you're also going to be using this same pattern for your back, just that on the back you remember to add zipper allowance. That is if you are putting zipper allowance on the back, if it's not on the side. So remember to add a zipper allowance, maybe 1 inch or 1.5 on the center of your back. Okay, so now we are cutting two. So I have the second one, because one is going to be serving as the basic just for the first one, just like some be doing for every of our tulip. You have two. Then the second is the one we are going to be manipulating by extending to add our drape effect. So now we're going to go ahead and look for another paper entirely. So look at how the sketch is. You can see the side of the skirt. Look at the way it is extended. So it is that extension that is now going to be falling to form the cascading fold for this drape effect. Okay, so the amount you put, it is the fullness you have on your results when you eventually make this. And don't forget the use of fabric, which is very, very important in making this, which you can use a crepe, you can use a silk. Okay, so depends on the results you want. You can use gabardine. Okay, so just make sure you use something good, scuba knit. So now I'm going to be adding my paper. So look at the way I place the paper. So it is from the center of the skirt. So that's why I rule out the center. It is from the center of the skirt. I attach the paper, and then I'm going to go ahead now, and then I tape this down. So now I'm taping this down. So after taping this down, this will help me to be able to work with my paper without much stress. So I just tape this part down using my masking tape, because I still want to remove them back. So now I'm going to go ahead and extend from my center. You see where I extend from my center line? I'm extending by 6 inches. So the goal here is to create like a square. So it's more like when you're doing your neckline. So this is where the drape is going to be starting on the waistline, because the waistline is going to be flowing into the upper part of the extension of this effect. So I adjust my camera so you can see this very well. So I extend by 6 inches. Right, then I'm also going to be putting the same 6 inches. If it is 7 inches, you use it. Make sure it is 7 inches you put back to create that square, in order to form that curve for the drape that you're going to be draping, to drape down. So if it is 8 inches, put 8 inches back. If it is 4 inches, put 4 inches back. So make sure it is square. Square has equal side, right? So it is square. So after having this square now, I'm good. So the next thing I want to do, so I'm going to be curving. Look at that curve effect. The curve is going to be coming to that. Okay, before I now add extension. So now in adding extension line, the extension line also is not constant. Then the volume you want, it depends on the volume you want and where you want to drape. The cascaded fold for the drape starts from. So it is what you are going to be rightly putting over there. So right now I want to draw out this curve. That is for the drape on the waistline before the extension for the cascading fold on my skirt. So right now I have this over here, and then here I'm going to segment this. So it's okay to always section whatever you have so that you have something aligned. So I'm going to confirm what I have there now to see what I have. So by confirming round, I have 10 inches. Perfect. So and then I want it in 6 places, because I want the plate to be like in 6 places. So divided by 6. So and then I just went ahead and then I put 1.5 inch to section this round, and this give me the effect I want. 6, just like a guide to guide me where I'm going to be pleating from. If it's pleats you want, if it's a gather, so anything you want to do, effect you want to do, there is no constant rule. So all this, it is fashion. So but this, because it's going to where it's going to fall, so I just have to segment those sections. So and then I have 6 all together over there for my drape. So I label that this is drape. So I'm just going to pleat it like drape. So it's going to be falling. So you're going to be seeing the pleating, the way it's pleated later on. So now I'm extending the line for the fullness of the drop, which I'm going to be blending to the center, to the M line on the center line. So for me here, I use about 14 inches. So it depends on what you want. You can do, where you want the fall to start, look at on the skirt, look at where the fall starts from. So whatever you do there, it's where your skirt is going to fall, the fall is going to start from. I first used 14, but eventually I trim out about 2 inches or 1.5 inches to give me like 12.5, which is perfectly okay for me. So, and then from the M line now, I'm just going to blend it into the center of the skirt over there. So don't make it too sharp or too straight. So use the curve side of your pattern master. So I'm using my pencil first to see the flow of the curve, if it's something I love or if it's something I'm comfortable with. It's something you're free with. So pattern drafting enables you to make your mistake. So it is in mistake you also learn, and you keep learning and you keep giving your creativity expression. So don't be scared of making a mistake. So that's why it's advisable to use a pencil first if you are not too sure of what you're presently doing. I'm using my pencil first to just see how the flow will go, because I want a very good flow. I want the flow to continue. I don't want anything to affect it. So, and then I continue to mark this to the center of the skirt. You can see the center line over there. Perfect. Design fixtures for this skirt. It is the basic shape, which is the fitted pencil skirt with that for shaping. That is the first thing. Then that fixture is the drape extension, which we are doing right now. Then also the length and style. The dress add asymmetric and facial interest, making it suitable for formal or dressy wear. So that is why we also, that is part of the fixture for this. So, and then the closure, you can now say I want to put my zipper on the side or on the back. It all depends on you. So now that we have this over here right now, the next thing we want to do is to now cut this out. So we are going to be cutting the side out. So, but before we do that, I want to tape my paper with the other paper very well, so there won't be any moving. So I'm removing the masking tape to use my white sellotape to tape this down perfectly to be neat. Then part of the fixture for this skirt is also the waistline. It can be paired with a waistband or a facing, so it depends on you. You can put a waistband, you can put facing, you can say you want to attach it to a dress, to upper bodies to make a dress. You can say I want to put a band. So everything just depends on what you want for this. But what I'm teaching you right here is how to achieve this. Okay, so now have successfully taped this with my white tape, and everything is just perfect. I just love the way the outcome is. Is this not looking amazing? It is amazing. Yes, amazing. It is interesting. So now the next thing we want to go ahead now is to now cut out that side. So after cutting out the side, so I'm now going to go ahead now to segment this as well. So we are now going to drape this. Wow, this is very interesting project. You can imagine this in a lovely gown, or maybe you make it as a skirt or a dress. It's a beautiful project. Like I said, consider the fabric to work with. Don't just pick any fabric. Look for a fabric that's going to give you a very nice drape and flow. Okay, so right now, so I've cut it out. So you can see the way it's cut. I first trim out the side, then I trim out that part of where the waistline continued up. So now I want to confirm what I have on the side of this skirt. So I'm confirming the measurement to also divide this into 6. I have about 36, then I divide into 6. So that puts me into having like 66 inches for the difference. So then I just go ahead and then I'm marking 66 inches. So that 66 inches help me to have like 6, and that is the line I'm going to be tracing to the upper part to make the fold. Okay, so I'm just going to be having my stepping drape. So it's going to be like a step. So my cascading fold is just going to fall nicely, and it's just going to be beautiful. So this is it. Mary Adedoyin is my name once again. I am the lead fashion tutor of DOSEfashions Academy, where we help you to give your creativity and expression with simple, detailed, and timely classes. We have sewing classes scheduled for you if you will love to reach out to us one-on-one for sewing classes, even therapy classes. We have them and we have amazing results and reviews. So don't forget. So you can always reach out to us in the comment section or mail us at dosefashions1@gmail.com, or you just drop a comment section or you search for us on every of our social media handles. It is Those Fashions Academy on YouTube, Instagram, everywhere. So now look at what I'm doing here. I'm using a tracing wheel to trace this to connect to the other part. So tracing wheel always help me to weaken the paper a little bit for the fold, so it will not be so difficult when I'm folding it. So it's handy, something you should have in your pattern making tools. Okay, so just like the first time we use it to copy the pattern from each other, not going all over again. Then another time is I'm using it to weaken the paper for my fold. So after doing that, you can see the way the fold is falling nicely. Is this not really looking amazing? I tell you, it is looking so beautiful. So you can see the fold, you can see, and that is how the fold continues, and it continues. Look at it. So I'm picking from the upper part then to the lower part. So you can pair this kind of skirt with anything you want to pair at all. Okay, so it depends on how you want to style it. Like I said, you can also make it into a dress. Look at that. So when you want to cut this line, you know, you're just going to be cutting the main other base skirt block. Then you also cut this, then you drape it on your fabric, on the skirt, like that. So you're going to be draping it like this first. You base stitch it at the hem area, at the waistline area. Before you stitch it, you base stitch the pleat area, so to secure the pleats very well at the waistline area. Then you base stitch your waistline area with the folding, then you now stitch it to your skirt side by side before you join them to the back of the skirt. So you can see, so like this, you can have, you may say I don't want a tulip because the image here is showing like a tulip. You can say I just want it to just be like a straight effect. You can have your main skirt not tulip, like it's forming tulip on the front like this, like stylish tulip here, or you can just say I just want tulip. So it depends on what you want. So this is how the result is looking like. Honestly, this is looking so amazing. It's beautiful. It's an interesting project. Look at the way it's looking, and this is how this is achieved. Now, so we are going to be placing this on the base skirt. So you see the effect. So look at it on the base skirt right now. So you can see the effect on the base skirt. Look at that. Look at that. So that is what I'm telling you earlier. So you stitch it together at that waistline area. So if you want it like this, you can just leave it like this. But if you say on the M line, I want to have you stitch your side, you can leave it like this. It's perfect. It's styled like this as well. But if you now say I don't want it like this, I want to have like this tulip effect, like the way it's showing on the screen. So you just go ahead, and then you're going to be marking from your waistline. So I just do a stylish design on the drape, so you can see the drape effect. So you just make a difference on it like that. So look at it. Honestly, it's looking so beautiful. So beautiful. Perfect. Great. So now if like I was saying, if you say I want it to form like that tulip that it is, so on the second paper there, you're just going to mark maybe from your knee line or above the knee line a little bit. So you just cuff it and blend it in to come and mix. So it depends on how you want the fold to be. So there is nothing constant about this. But the standard is I just teach you how to drape your flow and how your drape can flow anyhow you want it. So if you now say I still want maybe like an opening of a tulip here, so you're just going to be on your knee line, you mark, or you go above on your knee line a little bit, and then you connect to the hem of your skirt, then you cut. So when you cut this, so you're just going to be forming that opening a little bit for you to see the effect. So that is how to drape your asymmetric side drape skirt pattern. If you enjoyed this tutorial, give it a thumbs up and share it with fellow sewing enthusiasts. Don't forget to subscribe, very important, for more pattern drafting lessons. And check out my tulip skirt and one side drape skirt, as well as the drape jacket tutorial right here, right now, as is displayed on the screen right now. They are all beautiful variations. So have an amazing time drafting. Bye.